So today we are doing a candy draft, and this is the same premise. This is the only candy you can eat for the rest of your life. We're both selecting five candies. Any thoughts before we just dive into this, Ashton?
This one's tricky. I will say just kind of some just kind of ground rules. We're kind of lumping everything in. So like if you choose M&Ms, you get the peanut M&Ms, you get the regular like the chocolate M&Ms, the peanut butter M&Ms, yeah, the pretzel M&Ms. You get all the M&Ms. The same with like Hershey's bars. You get all the Hershey's bars. So like just to kind of it's one is like we're going kind of by brands a little bit. So
Sure.
I think it's going to be interesting. Now you have told me that you have a definite number one,
I
and
do.
I will be honest. Like last week, like I had the definite number one with Chick-fil-A. I
hmm
don't have a definite number one. I have a couple. Like I have three or four that I'm like, yeah, I don't know who to take. Like if I do win the toss, which I will because I always win the toss,
That's
that
true.
like I'm not actually 100% sure who I take. I've got three really good options.
Okay, well, here's hoping that you don't take mine. We're gonna do the toss. I don't even know what the point is because, like you said, you always win our coin tosses, but we're gonna try it. Ashton, heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
I need to do it again. I dropped it. It is heads. I want a
Oh,
coin toss.
yeah.
All right, wonderful. So I finally get to go first on one of these.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is easy. I'm going Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing quite like it. Um, Most other candies, I feel like you have something kind of in the same family.
Sure.
I love me some Reese's peanut butter cups, man. It's like if it's not my favorite candy, it's pretty dang close, and it's the only thing like it. This was easy for me. I'm so glad I won this coin toss. That's put that on the board. I feel very strongly about this. Is that where you would have gone? Like, gun to your head, like who would you have taken with your number one pick? I guess we'll find out now, unless you would have
Yeah.
taken Reese's.
I did have that as number one. That would have
Okay.
been the number one. But like, yeah, like I mentioned, I had a whole like a top three or four that I kind of like. I kind of like them all. That's the bad part. Really, I have a list like 1 through 15 right here in front of me.
hmm
I'd be okay with any of these. You know what I mean? So like, there's not really bad options, especially in the top end of candy. All right. So for my number one, I am going to go ahead and take M&Ms.
Okay.
It's one of the most popular in the U.S. and also in the world. It gets a lot of
hmm
love, kind of globally. So I'm going to go with M&Ms. I think there. You mentioned not much else like it. There's not like they're everywhere. Like you can find a variation of M&Ms everywhere. Yeah, I like them. I think it's consistent. I'll go like I think the peanut M&Ms are I think are my favorite. That or the
Okay.
pretzels. Those are fantastic.
Yeah, it's a solid choice.
Yeah.
There's nothing left on my list that I'm like, I need to have this. Reese's was the only one.
Okay.
There's lots of other good options, like you said. Like there's so many good candies. I don't know that I'm going to get terribly worked up over any of these, just because, like I said, there's so many good candies. I'm happy. I'm already going to win the vote because of getting Reese's, but I respect your M&M's pick. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, that was trash talk. Okay, so
Yeah, it
next
was.
I'm going Hershey's bars. You talked about them in our
Yeah.
preview a little bit. I You never go wrong. It's great chocolate. You can also get like the cookies and
Yeah.
cream, which I love. Um, what else is there to say? I love me some Hershey's bars, and it's chocolate. You also have a couple other options. Am I too high on them? What do you think about Hershey's?
That was very high. It's
Okay,
vanilla. We can say that was a vanilla pick. You could. I would not have taken Hershey's in my top five. You could have got those
okay,
at the last. I hate to say that now.
that's
All
fine.
right. For me, at number two is in my second round. I'm going to go Starburst. I love
Okay,
Starburst. I think the variation is incredible. The pink, red, the orange. I think the orange is slept on. I like the orange.
Hmm.
Yellow is not very good. The other flavors fantastic. I'll go with Starburst. Like I'll be honest, I'm probably going to win this vote. Like if when me and you vote, I feel really confident. Starburst gets a lot of love. No, it really does. It's a really top
Hmm.
shelf candy. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull the trigger on Starburst.
I disagree. I'm okay
Okay.
with Starburst, but it's one of those things like it's a top 15 option for me, and definitely not a top five. And I think I enjoyed it more when I was 15 than I do now. I feel like as I get older, I go more into like the chocolate area
Really?
and less on kind of the artificial flavors type of thing.
Okay. Okay. No, that's
Um,
fine.
and on that note, my next pick is the Lindor truffles. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
Uh,
this is a higher quality pick than my Hershey's, but I also felt like it was more niche and I could get it later. Clearly, I was
yeah.
wrong because you said you wouldn't take Hershey's until wherever. But yeah, I'm feeling great about my picks so far.
All right. For me at 3, I'm going with Twix. I love
Okay.
Twix. Yeah, I think they're slept on a little bit. That's another one there that you can sit and you can eat a bunch of them. Like you don't even realize how many you've eaten until you're just like
Hmm.
knocking them back. So yeah, I like Twix. Um, I needed some chocolate. Yeah, I
Hmm.
needed some kind of chocolate bar in there. I didn't have any chocolate yet. The
Your M and
M&Ms, but
M's
like
kind of filled a
that's
little bit of
kind of
that.
you're right. You're right. But like as far as like a chocolate candy bar,
Hmm.
we'll go with Twix.
Yeah, I got nothing wrong with Twix. It wasn't necessarily on my list, but I think that's a very solid option. There's like a lot of chocolate candy bars
Yeah.
that get the job done.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
I'm just gonna
go
say a
ahead.
couple things here. Snickers. We've gone through 3 rounds
Yeah,
apiece. Snickers still on the board. Get like what's like just go ahead. I think we're at the we're not really interfering with each other's draft. Let's
right.
just go ahead and say who's the best available. You don't really have to take them, but like you know how they do in like the NFL draft. They're like he's the best available, and he'll sit there and like ooh, who's the best available right now for you?
So it all depends on value because I like Snickers. Like if we're going chocolate candy bar, like Snickers is probably the top of my list.
Okay,
But there's so many other good options if you steal it from me.
right, right.
So
Butterfinger,
yeah,
anyone?
that's on my list too.
Okay,
I can go like kind of in that same vein. I also like Milky Way, Baby Ruth, Three Musketeers. Like I'm cool with any of it. I
yeah,
think Snickers is the best of that group, but it's not such a big gap that I needed to take it before now. Like I feel like so
sure.
far I'm kind of so far I feel like all my picks have been a little bit more unique, if that's fair to say.
Yeah, you have not been very chalk. I will say that.
Yeah.
No, like you don't see. Was it Lindor? Lindor truffles? You don't see
Yeah.
that in a lot of top lists.
Right.
I've been going through so many lists recently. You don't really see those in the top. Um, yeah, for me, I think it's interesting. We have Skittles also still on the board.
Hmm.
That you see that at the top of a lot of people. Kit Kat still on the board.
Hmm.
Sour Patch Kids still sitting
Yes.
there. Interesting ones. That goes what you're in the 4th round. This is your 4th round pick right
Yeah.
here.
So I'll just kind of quickly recap what we got so far. I got Reese's peanut butter cups, Hershey's bars, and Lindt Lindor truffles. Ashton has M&Ms, Starbursts, and Twix.
Yeah.
So I've pretty much been exclusively kind of in the chocolate family so far. Trying to decide how much I want to stay there. I do feel like I know I said I've kind of gone away from the artificial flavor thing into the chocolate family more, like the older I
Sure.
get when it comes to
No, that's
candy.
fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing,
But
nothing at
that
all.
being said, okay, I either need Skittles or Nerds, and I'm not sure which one I want. Um, do you have any strong opinions in those two? You're
Nerds are
hoping
by
one.
far. Nerds are so much better. If you take nerds, I will be a little
Interesting.
upset. Nerds, and by the way, not any kind of nerds. It has to be the purple and the pink. Like you can't go with
Ooh,
like the rainbow box. You know what I'm talking about? Like that
yeah.
big box of rainbow. Those are not very good. The purple pink nerds are like I actually thought I could let those slide and you would just kind of give them
Interesting.
to me for free. If you take those, I will be a little upset.
I mean, those were. I was kind of like letting them there. I didn't want to mention them before it was my turn to pick, just because I didn't really want you to steal them from me.
Okay.
Um,
So we're on the same page there. Like we're
yeah. I
both kind
mean,
of eyeing nerds as a late round value pick.
I'm not sure that I'm the same. I'm not quite as convinced as you are that they're way better than Skittles. But man, I love me some Nerds. You just never go wrong. I agree with you, by the way, on the purple and the pink. Like those little boxes, like tiny little boxes, you just dump it the whole thing in your mouth. So good. Or
Yeah,
you can go slow and just
yeah,
treasure each one.
yeah.
I'm taking nerds. Thanks for tipping your hand. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's probably where I was leaning anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, you confirmed it for me.
Okay. For my okay, I have a surprise coming up for my fifth round pick. Now I'm still in my
Ooh.
fourth round pick, so I'm going to go with one more value pick,
Okay.
and then I'm going to take a reach in at number five.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with. Oh shoot! I actually want both of these. Dang. I'm going to go with Kit Kats. The
Okay.
just like the ability just to snap one off. The sound that it makes when you snap one off
Yeah.
is you don't get sound much, in candy. And the sound of a good chocolate bar kind of crunching open, that's unique. Let's go with Kit Kat as my fourth round pick.
Are you concerned at all that there's any overlap with Twix? I mean, obviously they don't taste exactly the same, but there's sort of in a similar family.
Well, Twix is made up almost entirely of caramel. Like, so they're not
Okay.
really the same at all, if you take out, like, they're shaped kind of alike, but like other than that, and like they're not, yeah, like Kit Kat has a much different, that's like almost like a graham cracker layer in Kit Kats. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying? Whereas like Twix are vastly different in my opinion.
I guess I was thinking more just like they're both like in the chocolate bar family kind of. But yeah, they
Yeah.
do have
Oh,
different things.
sure. The
Yeah.
okay, one that I won't be able to get, and I'm bummed that I don't have enough picks is Baby Ruth.
Yeah.
That is an underrated candy bar, not talked about
Yeah.
enough. I think it's a value.
Sure. I agree. Oh, this is tough now. So the nice thing here, like I'm not a big enough candy guy that it's going to seriously bother me. Like if I can't eat the others like for the rest of my life in this theoretical.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so I'm gonna run through kind of my finalists here for my last pick. I'm looking at
Okay.
Snickers. I'm looking at
Yep.
Dove milk chocolate.
Oh, no.
I'm looking at Pop Rocks. I'm
Okay.
looking at Andy's Mints.
Okay.
I'm looking at Butterfinger. That's probably it.
Okay.
Um, oh, did I mention Skittles? I'm also still looking at Skittles.
Okay.
So I'll recap mine so far. I've got Reese's peanut butter cups, Hershey's bars, Lindt Lindor truffles, Nerds. Um, I have chocolate pretty much on lock. Other than like I don't have. Yeah, I mean, do you say Hershey's bars and Snickers are somewhat similar? Not
They
really,
I
but
kind of though.
kinda.
Like yeah, like if you're talking about you have a lot of chocolate. Like we can just go
I
ahead and
do
say
have a lot of chocolate.
you have a lot of chocolate.
I'm fine on chocolate, quite honestly. So I'm gonna go Skittles. Um,
Yeah.
one more kind of in the artificial flavor family.
Sure.
I think I think people you could have a Skittles M&M's argument out there. It just kind of comes down to personal preference.
Huh?
The one thing I like about Skittles is that you do have like different flavors. You have different options, and they seem like they released different ones. You have sour Skittles too.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't like those. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not like super high on sour candy, but if I'm in the mood for it for some reason, like I'm okay with the sour Skittles. Like if I have to
Okay.
pick something sour, so I think that rounds out my five. I'll recap it before you make your final pick. I got Reese's peanut butter cups, Hershey's bars, Lindor truffles, Nerds, and Skittles. Ashton, you have M&M's, Starburst, Twix, and Kit Kat. And so your final pick, you already made up your mind. It's a sleeper pick, according to you. What you got?
Yeah. So I'm actually having like kind of second thoughts because I know that if I take this pick, I will get crushed in the voting. Absolutely
Okay.
crushed. Because this I've talked to a whole bunch of people about this. I may
Is it
be the
candy
only
corn?
no, that's objectively terrible. We all hate
Yes.
that.
Okay.
The everyone I've talked to about my last pick number five, is not a fan of it. Like I'm
Okay.
apparently the only one that really likes it. But I love it. Like growing up, I had so much of this candy. It was probably I will say this, I've had more of this candy than anything else. It is marshmallow peeps,
Oh.
the little sugar covered little
Hmm.
bunnies and like little chicks that you can get Easter or really almost
Absolutely.
any time now. But yes, they're out. I love those. Like they're so
Hmm.
good. There's something about I, I can't quite explain it. It's the sugar on
Pure
top of
sugar.
the marshmallow.
Yep.
Pure, completely. Yes. No. Okay. We're not getting into a candy argument and trying to be holier than thou. Okay. Like we're
Right.
already we're already unhealthy. So I don't appreciate the condemnation there. But yes.
No condemnation for me, by the way. I was just
Okay.
stating as a fact. Like those are just
Okay.
pure sugar.
As is every single item on
I'm
here.
not saying
But
it's a bad thing.
Okay. I like Peeps. I'm going to lose the vote because of this, because people actively dislike Peeps, which I think is wild. For me, I have to stay true to myself. I got it. Yeah, I'm going with that. You can laugh all you want. That's fine. All right. You mentioned candy corn. Candy corn and this was, I just looking at a poll right here. It's the most hated candy in the United States.
And rightly so.
I agree. It's terrible.
It's so bad.
Someone makes it. Someone still makes it. You know, like there has to be someone out there that actually likes candy corn. I haven't met him, but yeah, someone's got to. Another one that's really hated. You know, like those little the circus peanuts, like those little orange little they're very hated as well. Necco wafers, Tootsie Rolls, like those wax Coke bottles. You know, like those wax bottles that we're talking about. You have any that you just like really dislike?
Candy corn is the main one. I mean, there's others that I'm like, oh, that's kind of but most of them are just kind of Like it's candy, like it's sugar. Like almost by default, it can't suck too bad, at least just from the taste, because you're not really tasting anything special. You're tasting sugar, and most of us like sugar. The circus peanuts, I actually have memories as a kid. So my family, from the time I was about 11 months old to the time I was like 4.5. My family lived, and my dad worked at a nursing home. And one of the residents at this nursing home, old lady, I could not remember her name, but she always had circus peanuts. And little 3-year-old Vince loved going in her room and getting a circus peanut from her. And I know it was also pretty much pure sugar. Yeah. I've had them as an adult, and they're not even close to what my memories as a child were. So some of these candies, like the ones that really are crappy, when you're a kid and it's just sugar, like that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. You do have to know that the circus peanuts that you got from her, like those had to be 2 years old. Like they were so stale. Like there was no chance. There was no chance that they weren't stale. So yeah, licorice is another one. You know, like black licorice. Like no one likes it. Like it's just not very good. I'm actually
even down on regular like red licorice and red vines. Like I'm just not that. I don't really get it.
Yeah. It's not my cup of tea personally. Yeah. It may not be anybody's. One that's gone. It's retired now, or at least you can't get it in my area anymore. Is Fun Dip. You remember Fun Dip?
Ooh.
Like those the little packets of sugar that there's like two, and then they had like the little
white thing you dip into it.
The white dipper stick that and then it was like a little kind of like a lollipop almost, and then that's you can't find them anymore. Like that used to be
fantastic candy.
That was great, and if that was still made, like I think that would have probably made my top 5. But
sure,
not around anymore. That was like my childhood, man. Those things were awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, could not go wrong with those. Any others that it's funny how a lot of candy, like it comes down to nostalgia as a kid.
Sure.
And then when you grow up, you realize, oh, maybe this was not actually that great. Even nostalgia from like my high school days. Like I went to small private school, and I was on the yearbook committee. And so we would leave to go do ads and stuff like that. Like we'd go do photography outside of the school occasionally, like taking pictures for different stuff. And anytime we left, we would like stop at a gas station and get candy. Like we'd get gobstoppers, that type of thing.
Oh yeah. Jawbreakers.
Yeah. So that type of candy, like I've eaten almost none of that as an adult, but it did fill a crucial role in my life.
It's Sour Patch Kids did not get taken. I think that's interesting. Like I'm just kind of sat there. Yeah, there were some interesting snubs for sure.
Am I wrong in thinking Sour Patch Kids are the type of candy that the addiction doesn't match the goodness? Like you kind of have to keep shoving them in your mouth, but you're not actually enjoying them that much, but you still have to just kind of keep going, and eventually you get sick.
Yeah. Well, like it's like 2 minutes in before they become good. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, like the
Maybe
first
that.
couple
I don't
aren't
know.
fantastic. The first couple are not fantastic, and you kind of like keep working your way. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel that. I think they're pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I eat them. It's you only need like five at a time though. Like for me, like I just have to quit. Like yeah, I agree. You do get sick on them for sure.
There's like 150 candies out there that we could have taken, and we only took 10. So somebody had
Yeah,
to
it's
get.
kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Everybody, we're gonna put this on our story again, or you can tell us in your comments who you think made the best picks here. Um,
Sure.
I feel like Reese's for me is going to be basically like Chick-fil-A was last week. I could be wrong on
Yeah.
that. Maybe it's just me, but we'll see how that goes. Um, anything else before we wrap this up, Ashton?
No, no, not really. I will concede in the vote. I don't expect this. I don't expect to win. Don't really expect it to be very close. Yeah, good for you. You needed to win one. So
Yes.